his stats stack up, as Robbie just said there. They're better than the players that we've just spoken about. His stats are better this season.
He's not an England player, is he? He's not an England regular. He's not featured really under Gareth Southgate. Why hasn't Gareth wanted to experiment with him and think, do you know what, you're such a great player, you're in such good form, I'm going to try you out wide, I'm going to put you in a position that works for this England.
Sorry, because there's them players we just mentioned.
Yeah.
We're not talking like we're in an era...
the door's shut then.
No, but we're not talking about like we're in an era where there aren't players in the positions that he plays in, yeah? The players you've mentioned, we've not even mentioned after Mount, Foden and Grealish. We've not even mentioned Rashford and Sterling, who can play the wide areas where he can play as well. Sancho. Do you know what I mean? There's an unbelievable array of talent there.
So does he not have an England future then under Gareth Southgate? Is that what we're saying?
It remains to be seen, doesn't it?
I think he will at some point, surely. But as Rios alluded to, that number 10. The number 10 position's changed. You know, where it was a flair player, where you could be that luxury player, where you don't have to work hard for the team. You just stay in that position, given the ball. But now, if you look at all those players, the discipline, their work ethic, their teamwork, they'll run back as well, number 10s now. And those number 10s can play all across the three behind the striker, you know, where it's Foden. You know, they can all adapt. Foden, as Rios, you know, said perfectly, could you see Maddison on the left of a three? I could, cutting inside, but you don't get the best out of him there, do you?
Is he better at doing that than a Foden, than a Grealish, than a Sancho, than a Rashford, than a Sterling? Well, I wouldn't say so. But in a number 10 position, I think he's fantastic. But England don't play with a number 10. And listen, let's roll it back a couple of years as well. When we played, Michael Carrick, one of the best midfielders of his generation, was always on the bench for England and never played or didn't get in squads at times. And you're sitting there and you're gasping, thinking, oh my God, how can this guy in the best team in the land can't get a game for England? But you had Gerrard, you had Lampard. The list goes on of players that they had who were mainstay in that team at the time. So it's sometimes unfortunate what era you come in. I'm not saying the door's shut on him by any means, because I think he's a talent who's going to be knocking around that squad for years to come, because I think his desire will make sure that Gareth Southgate notices him and tries to find a place for him in that squad stroke team.
Foden played as the false nine at Anfield, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that he moved out wide, and that's where they got the best of him, because I think at half-time, Pep said he wasn't doing the right things as that false nine, would drop into that 10 position. Yeah. When he moved out wide, you know, he was unbelievable. So I would say Maddison is a better 10 than Foden, but England don't play that way.
So is he in the squad, is he in the team, or is he not involved in the Euros next summer?
I don't know, it's hard to say that. I think there's so many factors will come into injuries. We've seen players that got injured this weekend. So
wouldn't you want him in the squad, though, as an option for when the tournament starts, if someone's out of form or something?
Listen, when someone's putting up numbers like he's doing, it's hard to ignore
Is he the best 10?
In terms of numbers, you can't argue in terms of numbers. He's putting up the right numbers. You see all the stats there. He's at the top of the list in terms of English players.
As a 10, who would you pay most to watch out those four?
Grealish.
As a 10?
If I'm going to watch a player and I'm putting him in number 10, I want to see someone drift past people, draw people to them, create space for other players, listen, and then get assists and get goals. But you can't argue. There's a great argument for Maddison. There's a great argument for the other players.
Who would you rather watch in the 10?
Foden. Even though he didn't do that well at Anfield, but he went out wide.
Grealish is the best player in the league right now, on form. He's been the best player this season.
Right now?
Yeah.
Foden's performance has been remarkable.
I've got a voice in my ear that said 3 times, wrap it up now. But I just want to sit and listen to this conversation carry on. But we will carry on talking.